Last week, we learned how to add assertions to a Cypress test, and we now have one complete test to run against the contact list website, the Add Contact test. You have probably noticed that every time you run this test, another contact is created, and the contact list keeps getting longer and longer. Data that accumulates like this can make it hard for people to test manually, and if it goes on too long, it can even put a strain on the database. So today, we are going to add a new test for the delete contact functionality, and then we'll add code to our add contact test so that the contact we create is always deleted. It's always a good idea to clean up after your tests. So last week, we added a couple of assertions to our add contact test. And I suggested for homework that you add assertions for the rest of the contact fields. So if you did that, it should probably look something like this. So let's run the add contact test just to make sure that all of our assertions work. npm run test to open up Cypress. Then we choose E2E testing, and then we choose Chrome, and let's run our test. And we can see that we are asserting on all of the different fields in the new contact, and they all passed. Now let's create a delete contact test. And because it's different functionality from the add contact test, we're going to put it in a new file. So in our E2E file, we're going to create a new file, and we will call this delete contact.spec.cy.js. And what we're going to do for our delete contact is first we're going to add a contact, and then we're going to delete it, and then we are going to check to make sure that it's been deleted. Now you might be saying to yourself, well, why do we need to add a new contact? Because we already added a contact in our add contact file. Well, what we want to do is we want to keep all of our tests idempotent, which is a big word that basically means self-contained. They're all going to run on their own. You don't want to have any one test be dependent upon another test. So for example, if we had these two tests and our delete contact test was dependent upon the add contact test, and something went wrong with the add contact test, maybe there was just a little server hiccup or something, and that test didn't complete, then the delete contact test would fail also. So we want our tests to be self-contained so they're not dependent on any other tests. So in order to add in a contact for our delete contact test, let's just go ahead and we're just going to copy the whole test here for our add contact. And then we'll go to delete contact, and then we'll paste. So the first thing we need to change is our describe, because these are not add contact tests. These are going to be delete contact tests. And then our first test here is not going to be can add a new contact. It's going to be can delete a contact. But the next part will be the same. We're going to want to have a random number so that we can identify the contact that we're adding. We're going to go to the website. We're going to add in all of our information here. And then once the contact has been added, then we're going to go ahead and click on the contact so that we get to that contact details page. But all of these other assertions we're going to delete because we don't need to assert on the add contact because we did that in our add contact test. So let's delete those. Let's save and let's run what we have so far. Opening Cypress back up again. And you can see that now we've got a delete contact test. So let's run that. Okay, and we can see that the contact was added and we went to the contact details page. Now, how are we going to delete the contact? Well, that seems pretty obvious. It's right here. There's a delete contact button. So that's what we will choose. Let's use our Finder here to figure out what our ID for that button is, and it's just plain delete. So that should be pretty easy. So I'm going to say cy dot contains, or cy get delete with the pound sign, click. Okay, so let's run our delete contact test to see what happens. Okay, that went pretty fast. We saw that the contact was added and we clicked the delete button. So let's see if the contact was actually deleted. So it looks like right here, it was test user 795. And it looks like that contact has been deleted. I'm going to have you add in one more thing just to be very careful with this test. Because if we go to the website, not through the automated test, let's just log in. If I choose one of these test users to delete, I'm actually getting a pop-up that says, are you sure you want to delete this contact? So let's add that in. We're going to add in a step that just says, when a pop-up window comes up, we're going to confirm, just in case, because I'm concerned that this test will be flaky if we don't add that in. So right here, we will say cy on, and then window, confirm, and then an arrow function, and then true. Okay, just need to delete that parentheses right there. Okay, so let's run the test again and make sure that it passes. Okay, let's check and see if our contact has been deleted. So this time it was test 103 user. So let's take a look here at the end to see, was it really deleted? And it was. But we want to have our test confirm that it was really deleted. So let's do this. We will say cy.get, and then we will say contact table body row contains, and you can see right here, this is what we're looking for, test plus random plus user. So we'll just copy that. And then we will say should not exist. And now we can run the test again, and let's see if our assertion passes. And it does. We were looking for test 973 user, and it is not there in the contact list table. So now we have our delete contact test. And one more thing that we're going to do today is we are going to delete the contact that we added in the add contact test, because we want to make sure to clean up after ourselves. We don't have to clean up after ourselves in the delete contact test because we're already deleting the contact. But in the add contact test right now, we wind up with a contact at the end. So let's go ahead and delete that contact. So all we need to do is, let's just copy this right here. These two lines. We don't need to assert on the deletion because we're already asserting on it in our delete test. So now let's save and let's run that test. And we can check and see if our contact was really deleted. So it looks like our contact is contact 115. Let's take a look. And it doesn't appear to be there. So we have now just cleaned up from our add contact test. Now we have two tests. And you may have noticed that there is a lot of duplicated code in these two tests. Each test starts out with logging in, and then each test starts out with adding a contact. So that's a lot of duplicated code. Next week, we will learn how to pull out some of that code and make commands so that we're not repeating ourselves. Thanks for watching this video. If you found my training helpful, please like this video and share it with others. And be sure to subscribe so you don't miss a single lesson. If you're enjoying Monday Morning Automation and you'd like to learn even faster, be sure to check out my book, The Complete Software Tester, which is available in Kindle and paperback on Amazon.com.